like Vern used to say, just take it as it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And you really are feeling it. I mean, what would you really say about this person if they had done the things that they've done to you?
Man.
And it carried it. Okay, let's hear TA's interview.
All right.
I can only imagine.
Here we go. Here we go. I believe this one's from 1986, but here we go.
The American heartthrob, the United States heavyweight champion, Magnum TA. Welcome.
Thank you. You know, David, I think that championships should be judged by the quality of the competitors that are chasing you down, trying to take that championship away from you. So what I've done, most of the times you're always on the defensive. Well, I'm going to put myself on the offense for 1986. I've made up a hit list. Now, Tully Blanchard was on top of that hit list, but when he had to resort to slapping women, he went way down that list with me. What I'm doing is putting this title up on the line for the top competitors out there in the world today. And Nikita Koloff, I want you to know right now, personally, from me to you, that you're on top of my list. You like to say all these great things about USSR, about the superior athletes that you are. Well, I'm going to give you the opportunity to show the whole wrestling world what you're made of, because I'm going to go out of my way to find you 1986 and show all the wrestling people out there why I am the United States heavyweight champion, the fightingest champion those people out there have ever had.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Terrific.
you heard from the boss, the United States
The boss.
champion, Magnum TA. Let's go.
There he was.
Terrific interview. Another great babyface interview. You know, it wasn't over the top. Wasn't, you know, telling him what he's going to do. He's just competing against everybody and take on all challengers. And Nikita Koloff, you're the one I'm coming for. That was very heartfelt, very emotional. You could feel it. And I thought, excellent babyface interview.
Yeah, yes, very much so. Magnum, while Greg had the quarterback vibe, the starting quarterback vibe, you had the star linebacker vibe where you're just going to like light the guy up. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from that one.
Well, he was a bigger babyface, so he could be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I had, and my thing was the camera. You know, it was to stare the camera down and to look into the homes of the people I was talking to, so they felt that connection. And it worked because, you know, I had such a connection with people from all walks of life, red, yellow, black, or white, didn't matter. And, you know, all different income brackets and the whole shooting match. So people found something they could relate to, and you know, what I was going through, to living vicariously along with. And I really think the eye contact thing for me was a big part of that, because again, when that little red light came on, I was looking right there, boring a hole in it. There was a cameraman named Wayne Daniels back in the day, and if I had something really intense going on, he would zoom all the way in. You would just have me from here to here, man. I mean, he would have me in that camera eating it. And, but he said that's what, you know, that's what people, you know, that's what drove the peg and wound up the needle. And got, you know, when things were really intense, you can see in someone's eyes, to Greg's point, if they believe in what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the, you know, that's kind of the medium that cuts right through all the BS. If you see somebody's intensity in their eyes and they're staring you down and saying something with conviction, then they believe when they come to the arena, they're going to see that take place.
Right. I found too, even if the content itself, if some wrestler has to go out and say something, or it's an angle that's not that hot or things like that, if they speak with conviction, I buy into it still more. Like it does hinder the storyline itself, might hinder it, but when the babyface goes out and cuts a promo, or it's like, you know, they're trying to convey something that they believe in, then I can buy into it too. And so
I think like, you know, I think that about Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. I think he comes across very, very believable, very, very real, and convicted about his words. And I think that's what makes him in such a compelling position with what they're doing in the storyline with him and Randy and Cody right now, because he's a very passionate, real guy. And, you know, it doesn't have to look like Charles Atlas or whatever, you know. I mean, you forget about everything about that guy in terms of some guy that's 6'5" and chiseled physique, you believe that he's going to be out there and be in a fight,
Yeah.
and bring it. And I think, again, that quality in any performer is critical to, the difference of, being a great hand, to be able to go out there and mechanically, work a 5-star match. But if you don't have that piece to go along with it, you're never going to get but so far up the ladder in people's eyes. And, I've seen, we've talked about him on this program. I mean, guys like Brad Armstrong, who's one of the best of the best, couldn't, if he'd had 70% of the ability to really get his personality across on camera to go along with that, ooh, it would been a megastar. My friend Barry Windham, who is one of my best friends in life, was a good interviewer, but he was such a great worker. His work in the ring far outshadowed the way he came across on the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And he could go out there and have a match with Flair, second to none on the planet, and was a world champion and did all kinds of things. But that little niche, that finding that piece of you that comes across, that sparks something in people, is unique, and it's hard to find. It's hard to identify.
Yeah.
When you look at Owens, he's kind of the regular guy's hero.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the muscles, doesn't have the big thing. He's kind of just the rugged type, beer drinker type guy that the people can really relate to. Mm-hmm. And he gives them all that in the ring, and then he gives it on his interviews. And that interview is so important because that either makes a wrestler or breaks a wrestler.
It does. Mm-hmm.
If you have to be able to get that, pass on that emotion that you feel, and you like Vern used to say, just take it as it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And you really are feeling it. I mean, what would you really say about this person if they had done the things that they've done to you, and let it come out naturally?
Right.
And a lot of guys, I've seen guys that are great in the ring, but they can't talk on the TV, and they'll put a manager with them to help them get going. But if you can do the deal in the ring, and you can talk them into buying those tickets, you can have a pretty good career.
You can get a combo there.
A great example. Can you imagine if the Barbarian could have talked like superstar Billy Graham?
My goodness.
Yeah.
Guy who was bigger than a house and athletically could do anything in that ring with anybody. And if you could sprinkle that, that fairy dust over their head and have them be able to cut a promo and come across like that, whoa, I'd love to be able to just get the best of the best, throw them all in the bag and shake them up and see them come out like that. It'd be so cool.
Wouldn't it?
Well, Stan Hansen was a great interviewer. King Kong Brody. Nick Bockwinkel was a different one. He was kind of the elite type, stuffy ass guy, and he projected that. And that was him in real life too.
Yeah, it worked because it was real.
It really was. And you have to. That's what it really has to be. And Ray Stevens was another, great interviewer, and not as good as some of the other ones. But what he could do in the ring, and just the few words that he got out and how he got them out emotionally, boy, you can take a lot of guys in this business that, had all the potential in the world, but either something lacked in the ring or something in their interviews that the people didn't, get into their personalities.
Didn't